bricks the install, I'll just move on from there. And after rebooting the phone, we get a notification saying applying settings completed, so let's run another Geekbench test. And after running Geekbench, we get 285 over 845. Okay, so single core barely got any better, and multi-core actually kind of took a hit. Alright, well, whatever. I guess we'll take a look at Roblox and see how much FPS we can get out of that. You know, if I could return home. Okay, yeah, it seems like the app isn't loading. I think I know what's wrong. We didn't enable, like, the anti-detection when it comes to Magisk, so we should probably enable that. Yeah, we're looking for this thing called Zygisk, and then we gotta enforce this deny list and put Roblox on that deny list. Will the app actually open now? Please don't do this to me. What is the... It killed the entire phone? For a second I was gonna ask, what is this white light for? Alright, let's try that again. It's gonna kill the phone, right? Oh, okay, it's loading. Okay. We're kind of already falling into a rabbit hole here because I just want one app to work, but I think we need micro G or at least like some sort of implementation of Google Play services to get the app to actually, you know, boot. So we're going to use this thing called micro G installer revived. Then we got to install that via Magisk. Dude, that home button is getting real old real fast. Error, you do not have official micro G installed. What? Alright, well that installer isn't doing its job in installing the app for us, so I guess we'll just find it ourselves. Users on a custom ROM should install com.google.android.gms and com.android.vending. Okay. You know, maybe I should have just flashed this before even booting into Lineage OS. Alright, now let's just grant it all the permissions it needs. Register the device and see if Roblox works now. There we go, installing micro G fixed it. We can finally test out a game. Whoa, ref 7144 security threat detected? Security threat detected? I've never had an app throw up a toast that said security alert detected. Okay, and the app just isn't working anymore. Maybe it's because I didn't block micro G from Magisk? App's still not booting, so we're gonna clear the storage, clear the cache, log in again. It's... okay. Alright, you know what? I'm gonna make Roblox work, okay? Okay, so apparently what we need to do to fix this is, like, install a Zygisk next module and set the deny list policy as unmount only. Now, normally, you don't really need anything extra than the Zygisk that actually comes with Magisk, but some special apps like Roblox need, like, a bit of an extra tweak. Alright, after rebooting, wait, how do we actually... Oh, you know what? I forgot. We need LS pose as well. Yeah, we're looking for the Zygisk release, and, wait, last thing, remember, didn't this version not work on certain Android versions, or... I don't think it matters. Along with LS Pose, we gotta install KSU Web UI to actually use that Magisk module. Okay, after rebooting and installing everything, it should work. And you know, the keyword here is should, because the Sprint phone, it should have transferred data when I plugged it in, right? It shouldn't have broken when I cracked it open, but who knows? I guess we'll see. I'm sorry to bitch so much, but this is just so incredibly frustrating. Alright, so let's set this to unmount only. Do we have to add Roblox into here, or how does that work? I think I'm just blind, but I'm not seeing an option here to add like Roblox or other apps to this, so I'm just gonna hit treat non-root apps as deny list, because I don't think Roblox needs any root. With all that prep work out of the way, we delete all the app data, delete the cache, and it should work. Okay, it's not gonna work. Genuinely, what do I do? What am I supposed to do? Yay, time for more research. Alright, I found this absolute Chad who made an entire write-up about this issue he had, and he found a fix where, we use HMA OSS, which makes Roblox stop complaining about seeing Magisk. Oh, and cool little fun fact, apparently the HMA in this project stands for Hide My Ass. I mean, yeah, it's a very fitting name. Okay, we have the module activated, let's select Roblox. Huh? Oh. Alright, so I've been trying to fix Roblox to the best of my ability. I'm just getting nowhere, so we're gonna go into like that kernel auditor, right? Try to enable SE Linux, and if it breaks the install, I'm just gonna move on to a different custom ROM, because I've about had it. Alright, apply on boot, and let's set SE Linux to enforce. Wait, what? It doesn't let me set it to enforce? Alright, well, there's our problem. I guess we'll just, like, switch to a different Lineage OS version that actually supports it. Alright, let's see, there we go. Lineage OS 18.1 SE Linux enforcing. I gotta admit, it does feel like a bit of a cop-out just to switch to an earlier Lineage OS version, but I think we need SE Linux to, like, get device integrity to pass and actually get, like, games and stuff to boot, because, you know, what good is a phone if the apps don't work on it? I also did some more research looking for an alternative to Magisk, because maybe that's the problem with Roblox, and it seems like this is a more reliable solution, so I guess we'll just go with that this time. Alright, so back to square one. We're gonna sideload Lineage OS 18.1, and then we're gonna sideload a patch. Process ended with error 255. Is it not meant to be, like, installed that way? Oh, we do it inside the app. Okay, alright, so I guess we'll just boot into Lineage OS. Alright, back on Android 11, we enabled dev settings for ADB, and now we can install a patch. Alright, so click to install, select a boot image to patch. Oh yeah, we gotta push that over to the phone. I'm not sure if we're gonna have to zip up this file again, but we'll just grab the boot.img from this. Side note, but isn't it kind of weird how like the main Android directory is called SD card? Okay, after doing all of that, we've got the boot.img file, and wait, what? Write patched boot.img failed? Okay, I know what the problem is. You see the kernel version there, 3.10? Yeah, we need 3.18 to use this. Man, I really want root to work on this though, so you know what, let's head back into recovery, do magic, get all the tweaks all over again, and I'm just gonna bet that SE Linux is the problem with Roblox in general, and maybe it'll work after that. Alright, after applying every tweak, reinstalling everything on Android 11, I wanted to run a quick benchmark, and the performance is pretty much the same. And that's even with the overclock, but the main thing here is getting Roblox to work, so you know, fingers crossed.
Oh, I run away.
Okay,
This
so
guy
good
is
news, it
psycho.
wasn't SE Linux. Okay, so at this point, I think I'm just gonna ditch root and flash GFs onto this thing because, you know, as cool as the tweaking and the overclocking is, I'm not
I
really
hope
noticing
he
enough
is
of a
away.
difference to make it worth it, so yeah, let's just redo that. What's really funny about this is that if I wanted to, I
Run
can't
away.
show it on YouTube, but if
Come
I
on.
wanted to, I could install like an exploit version of Roblox, and that would run fine with root. But honestly, if I was gonna daily drive an S6, I'd want GApps anyways, so I guess this is gonna be for my use case.
I hide here
Okay, after flashing
downstairs.
GApps, reinstalling Lineage OS for what must be the 8th time, but the setup has actually changed, and it's kind of
he's
freaky.
now away.
Because usually when I'm setting up
He
Lineage
cannot
OS
find me
18.1,
here.
everything is like, it's got like a, I guess, turquoise green hue to it, but Google Play Services is like completely
Subscribe,
hijacked the
please.
setup here. Yeah, see what I mean? After we're done with the Google part of the setup, it goes back to the normal thing. Weird. We are getting a bit of a performance hit, losing around like 50 to 60 multi-core score, but honestly, have you watched the past like 3 minutes? Okay, I think it's worth not having to deal with the headache. Yeah, watch it crash. I was kidding. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you actually being serious? The entire time, the issue wasn't the root. I was just doing this for no reason. I'm still just in shock, but alright, let's just go with the next best thing and take a look at Minecraft. What a novel concept! That works without crashing? To be serious though, I'm playing Minecraft at the lowest settings, locked at 60 FPS, and considering we went all the way from, what was it, Android 6 to Android 11, I'd say this is pretty impressive. The game's not really what you would call stable at 60, but it tends to reach that quite often. Damn, the back of the phone, like specifically this area, is getting really warm though. Alright, so I think that's enough for our Lineage OS just complete disaster, taking a look at Android 11 and 13. Safe to say I'm kinda sick of Lineage for now, but even though this phone is a massive pain in the ass, I'm having way too much fun to stop now, so let's see what other ROMs we can install. Alright, under the Lineage OS listing right here, we've got one for One UI, and it's Floyd Note 8. Hey, you know what? It's named that he's a Pink Floyd, right? Yeah, take a look at that Dark Side of the Moon profile picture. That's rad. When I took a look at the Galaxy J3, I figured out One UI 1 actually came out on Android 9.0, so having stuff like this is just really cool. What does this do? Oh, there's like a transparency slider. I don't even think that's in One UI today. Okay, so how do we do split screen from here? Oh, there's only pop-up view. Alright, I guess from here we do split screen? Alright, yeah, you're just gonna force me to do it the old-fashioned way, right? Yeah, here we go. Now, it's not really this ROM's fault because it came out forever ago, but I really like the feature on newer One UI versions where you got like the 90-10 split and you can like switch between them quickly. It's a shame it's not here, but you know what, I can live with it. Now, I nearly drove myself crazy trying to get this to work on Lineage OS, but I'm curious if it'll just work out of the box here. And, of course it crashes. Alright, so it's not like a Lineage OS exclusive issue. Okay, so what's going on inside of HK Tweaks? No root. Thanks.